Good afternoon, everyone out there on YouTube. My name is Jared, and this is my channel, Mazda P3K. This is going to be a 5-minute fix video where we replace the deck belt of my Cub Cadet ZT1 50-inch. Without further ado, let's get started. Get you guys caught up. Went to go cut the grass Friday, and PTO engaged. Deck started shaking back and forth, started hearing a squealing, had a bunch of blue smoke pour out the back. Belt was slipping. There's a couple of things that can cause this. Normally, it's that your belt has stretched too much and it's no longer grabbing tightly and it's gotten glazed. Could be other things, but belts are normally your easiest first thing to try. So that's what we're doing. At least on my mower, which this is a ZT1 50. Cub Cadet zero turn. It's their entry level. Well, sorta. I paid extra money, and have the Kawasaki, not the Kohler, because Kawasaki makes a better engine. So when we take a look at our common part list for the belt deck, we need a 954 05078. 954 05078. Now, at my local Tractor Supply, they wanted $100 for that belt. When I looked online, couldn't find anything, kind of needed it in a hurry. So, I purchased what is probably a Chinesium belt from a brand called Mighty Rugged. I have no clue on the quality on this. Will it run for months? Will it run for 20 minutes? I don't know. But they claim it is a direct replacement for 954 05078. So that's that. And now let's get to how we're actually going to swap these belts. First thing we need to do is get the belt off the PTO pulley, which is this guy right here. So that's pretty straightforward since it is on a tensioner. See how I can pull this and it's coming towards me. Just pull it a wee bit so that you can slip it off the pulley. If you can't, you don't have the strength in your arms, you can ratchet strap or come up with all sorts of silly contrivances to get enough slack so you can pull it off. And that's step one. Step two is we need to take this belt guard off. We're going to need to take the one on the other side off as well. That one's going to be a little bit more annoying to get to the stuff, but we still got to take it off. So we have a 10 millimeter here, and then around the spider web, sorry spider, and here. And we just need to take these off. Should be pretty, yeah, it's not real tight. This is where using a flex-headed ratchet is kind of annoying, but you get the idea. Let's go ahead, get all three of these off. And with those three out of the way, this comes right off. So you can see, haven't really taken this off before, and I really ought to. Get all this garbage out of here. Oh, there we go. Now I can see a spindle. Hey, good opportunity to kind of shake the spindle up and down. If you've got a massive amount of play going up and down, you may have a bad spindle that's causing this. So, something to keep in mind. But you can see now we easily have access to the belt. We can slide that off. Now there should be, I think it's on the back of the seat, a belt diagram. I went ahead and I just took some photos so I can use those as reference. But let's go over. We're going to take off the other belt guard and then we can finish fishing all this out. Alrighty. So on this side, you have a bolt hole down here. There is one under your discharge chute cover right here. And then there's a third one over here, which in my case has torn. So don't have to worry too much about that one. But let's get these other two off, get this guy out of here. And so here's what we look like with the other guard off. And as you can see, I've already slipped the belt off of this pulley. All right, let's get this guy out of here. So we kind of get this, feed it through like that. Don't like how wiggly that is, but I think this is just an idler, so not really that big of a deal. And then kind of pull that through. Same deal. Now this one, if I remember right, if we look at the other side of this, yeah, this is, I think, tucked in. So we'll have to probably pull it out. Let me look from the other side. All right, so one thing, on this idler, there's a 14mm nut that you're gonna need to take off because you need to take this part out. And you gotta take this part out so you can free the belt. In order to take it out, there is a 14mm bolt head where my fingers are that you need to lock up with something, with a wrench. I use this, but you could use a standard open end, right? Or standard box. To get that out, to free the belt. And with that, our belt is free. Now this is the original belt that came with the mower. Mower is 2 or 3 years old. Yeah, so it's upside down, but it's where it says MTD. And it's got the part number and all that. I mean, looking at it, I see some spots that look kind of glazed, but that probably just happened whenever it slipped on me. But I mean, it doesn't look, well, right here. This got tore up right there. Not sure when that happened, but I mean, if you've never changed out a mower belt, sometimes you'll be cutting and then they'll just bloop, it'll start slipping because it's just stretched too much. The tensioner can't compensate anymore. Anyway, here's our new one, and I guess we'll start feeding it through stuff and hook it up and see what happens. Remember how I said I thought I'd seen a belt diagram somewhere? There is one. It's right up over here. So there is your S pattern deck diagram there, right there. That's what we need. So take a picture of it if you need to. That's what we need. And here we go. So I've got this all back on. It was pretty tight. I actually goofed and I didn't have it around here, so I wound up doing that final pull around here, and because this was a little smaller in the PTO, it actually worked out for me. But I checked against the belt diagram that was on the mower. It looks correct. You definitely need to get this back in, and you need to get this tight, because what this helps to do is to straighten up the idler. So, as well as, I think it keeps the pulley captive, so you can change, I wouldn't recommend doing this, but you could change deck height with the PTO running, I think is what that also is supposed to do. All right, so I guess what's left is to give this a try and see what it sounds like. I'll put you guys on the stand. I'm gonna put some hearing protection in, and we'll take it out, see what we get, and everything looks good. I'll put these, I guess, brush guards, pulley guards back on, spindle guards. Okay, as you saw, you saw why you got to have that guard over the idler, because the whole deck jumps when you engage the PTO, but that is now behaving normally. I don't see the excessive vibration in the deck. I don't hear the funny noises I was hearing. So I would say, at least short term, that my culprit was indeed a belt that had stretched out too far and it just wasn't gripping tightly anymore. So that'll do it. We'll call this a successful repair. Don't forget to put those covers back on though. 10mm, 3 bolts each side. Alrighty folks, that's going to do it for this video where we successfully changed out the deck belt on my Cub Cadet ZT1 50-inch zero-turn mower. If you found this video interesting, if you found it entertaining, if you learned something, please consider like, sharing, and subscribing. That does grow the channel and allows me to bring you more content like this. Please also leave a comment. I like to read them, I like to reply to them, and I like to learn from them. And as always, guys, I make mistakes and I film them so you don't have to make them. I'll catch you guys next episode.